back to the next class of Staad Pro. In the previous class, we had seen how to configure the system. It was basically just 2 or 3 steps, and we had done this, how to keep it in metric and what kind of files that you want to keep. We had even seen how to change the background color to black and white if we have that option here with us. All right. So in this class, what we're going to do is we're going to start the project. Again, we had explained all these steps, what it is and everything. So we'll just go for space. Let me just keep it as one. Metric and kilonewton is here. Then we go for next. Doesn't matter. Then we click on add beams and then we click on finish. Okay. So usually this is what we get. We have a grid system, and I have told you if you miss everything out, you can just click on geometry and get the grid system. But once you start working on it and then you close it up, then you don't get the grid system to work with. What I meant is if I just uh, made some beam like this, okay, and then I just close this up and then I go for geometry again, I don't get the grid again. Okay. Let me just control Z at all right. So generally what happens is we don't work with grid system. We don't do that because of 2 or 3 reasons. That is it is at equal distance to each other and everything. Okay. This is more flexible to us. This is more user friendly for us compared to the grid system. So what I want you to do is when you go to geometry and open up your system, see again you have delete everything. It is coming back. Okay. So what I want you to do is just delete this off. Just close this off because we don't want it. Okay. I want you to work with this directly. Okay. So how am I gonna start working with this? What is going to be my very first step to work with this? Now, before we start working with this, we have to understand the coordinate system of this software. It is not like ETABS where we have got Z in the top. Okay, it is not like AutoCAD. It is very different. It is like a bit different because we have got Y as a top here. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is, I'll just open up a pane. For example, if I have paper laid down like this. Okay, so in this paper, what is going to happen is this is basically a 2D, right? It is like a desk. Imagine this paper is on a desk. So what is going to happen is this is going to be my x-axis. Let me just put it like this. This is much better to understand. Okay, this is going to be my x-axis. Okay, in this direction. All right, and this is going to be my z-axis. Okay, usually how it is x and y. Here it is x and z. Okay, now if I were to create a 3D thing of this, okay, for example, I'm trying to create some box, for example. So what is going to happen is, let me just try to do this. Okay, so this is my box basically. So what is going to happen is in this direction, let me just change the color. Okay, in this direction, we are going to have our x-axis. All right, and in this direction, we are going to have our, let me just delete that. We are going to have our y-axis. Okay, and we don't have anything at inclined. So let me just keep it this as z-axis. Okay, let me just remove this for a second. Let's go for this one. Okay, is going to be y-axis in this direction, in the upper direction. In this direction is going to be what? X-axis. Okay, and in this direction is going to be what? Z-axis. Let me go for blue. Okay, Z-axis. So this is basically like a page. Okay, like this is Z-axis. In this direction is going to be Z-axis. In this direction is going to be sorry, X-axis. In this direction is going to be Z-axis, and the vertical is going to be Y-axis. That's the same thing that you can see here. All right. So X and Z is there, and Y is there. All right. So I hope you have understood what kind of axes we have here. Okay. The same thing you can just copy from here, and you can just control Z at this. Just a second. You can just copy it from here, and the same axis will come over here again. Okay, this is why all the verticals are in y direction. Okay, don't get confused, all the verticals are in y direction, all the z axis is in this direction, and x axis is this direction. All right. Okay, so what is how we're going to work with this? Let me just select this up and let me just delete this off. Okay, so when you start working on any project, okay, for example, let me have a beam like this. All right, so when I have a beam like this, I need to know where my what can I say node points are. For example, if this is my node point, let me just move it a little bit here. Okay, for example, I have one node point here, I have another node point here. Okay, and I have another node point here. All right, so I need to know where these node points are for me to draw anything in this system. In Staad Pro, I need to know where these node points are. See, this might feel like it's a lot of work and everything, but truth be told, this makes your system very versatile. Okay, that's why Staad Pro is used for not only for doing RCC buildings but for steel also, as well as for bridges and for your railway tracks. We have got the separate installations for that. For metro projects also, we use Staad Pro only. Okay, there are some other software like Midas and everything in the market, but Staad Pro is the basics. Everyone should know how to work with before you going for all those softwares, because this is very versatile. The simple reason being the node points. You can literally have node points in any direction you want. Okay, so I have got three node points like this now, and I'm saying this node point and this node point is connected by what? A beam. Okay, so to draw this into my system in my Staad Pro, I need to know their location. I need to know their coordinate system, x, y, and z. Okay, as you can see, x, y, and z. I know where exactly they come. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write here my very first coordinate is going to be 0 comma 0 comma 0, my origin point. Okay, and then this basically means x comma, if you just come and see here, if you get confused, I just want you to see here x, y, and z. Okay, don't get confused, x, y, and z. All right, so what is this? This is basically my x comma y comma z value. Okay, if you get confused, what you have to do, you have to just come and check these three digits. All right, so what I'm going to do next is, see, y is vertical, right? So y is always going to be 0 for me, because I want to draw a straight beam. I don't want to draw an inclined beam. I want to draw a straight beam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write uh, and I want the beam, and I want it to move in this direction, x direction. I don't want it to move in this direction, which basically is the direction. Let me just draw a red line here, if in case someone, okay, like this. And if I go in green, it will go in the top direction like this. Okay, I hope you can understand better now. So what I'm going to do, let me just drop here. So I want to move in x direction. Okay, this is basically my x direction, right? X, z, and y direction. So let me say I want to move 4. So 4 comma 0 comma 0. I'm going to close it like this. Okay, it is that simple. Let me just move it a little up. Okay, 4 comma 0 comma 0. All right, and I can have this as how much? 6 comma 0 comma 0. All right, or let me just make it double. Let me make it 8. 8 comma 0 comma 0. All right, so what is what here? This is basically my what? Y-axis. Okay, let me just keep it a little over here. Okay, this is my y-axis, and this is my z-axis. Okay, and this is going to be my x-axis. So I want to draw this beam in my system. How do I do it? I just come here. I have to just give 0 here. Okay, if you hit enter, automatically it will autofill this y and z part as zeros. Okay, if I hit enter now, automatically it will fill y and z as zeros. Okay, so 1 point we have got here. Next, I want to increase my value in y by 4. So I'll just hit 4 and I'll hit enter. So it has come at 4. Now I want to make it 8. So I'll make it 8 and I'll hit 8. Okay. All right. So now you can see it is coming like this. It is not looking like a straight line, right? Like here we have got a very good straight line, but here if you see we have not got a straight line. Why is this? That is because we are in isometric view. Okay. What do you mean by isometric view? Isometric view is not a 3D view. All right. Isometric view is basically a view at, for example, a 45 degrees inclination will be there. Okay, if you just draw it here. Okay, so what is going to happen, whatever your diagram comes, okay, your diagrams will be inclined at 45 degrees angle. Okay, that it gives you a image of being a 3D, but actually it is not a 3D view. It's basically an isometric view at 45 degrees angle to the axis. So how do I change it? How do I make it a straight line? So you have see so many what do you call them, viewports basically. I mean, this is a single viewport, but in so many views we can view your diagram. So I'll just change it to this one, and it becomes straight. Not only that, even the x, y, and z has become like this. If I go back to isometric, this will shift again. Okay, along the x-axis, the dots are there. You can see along the x-axis the dots are there. Okay, so what is this? This is view from z. Okay, so z is going to come front and x is going to be like this. All right, back, sideways. All right, and you can see in so many different ways you can view it. For now, don't worry. Right now, if you don't understand this, don't worry. When we work on a house project, that time when we see different versions from different sides, you'll be able to understand better. Okay, so this much is done. I have got my 3 node points. Fine, that is what I wanted to do. I got my 3 node points. Now I want to get my distance. I want to get my beams done. Okay, right now if you see beams, there is nothing in beams. So I want to do my beams. How do I do it? Just click and click here. Okay, just click, and if you click anywhere here, it will not take it. Okay, beams are always drawn node to node. You have to remember this. Okay, you cannot randomly drop it like this. It has to go inside a node. Okay, so you can see beam 1, node 1 to node 2, node 2 to node 3 is beam 2. Okay, so if you hit shift N, shift N on the keyboard, you get 1, 2, 3. This is basically your node numbers. Alright, so you can see node A and node B is 1 and 2. Alright, for beam 1, this is my beam 1, node 1 and 2 is there, and for beam 2, 2 and 3. Okay, so you can do this. Alright, it will keep you asking to autosave. If you want, you can just autosave it, no issues. Okay, so that means done. Then there's one more tool here. You can click on tools. Okay, click on beams dimension. Okay, dimension to view and click on display. All right. So basically, if you have a doubt so far, okay, sir, you took 8 meters, but it is showing only 4 meters here. How is this going to work? Okay. So basically, what I did here is I worked with coordinate system. Okay, this is my 0, comma 0, right? So this node is going to be 8 meters from this point, my origin point. Okay, so when you're working with coordinate system, you have to remember that part. All right, so even though it is showing 4 meters, this node is what we had given 8 meters distance. So this node distance from here to here is going to be 8 meters. Okay, beam is going to be 4 meters only. All right, so you have to remember that because I'm giving all the values from what? From the coordinate system, 0, comma 0, comma 0. So this point is 4 meters from the origin. This point is 8 meters from the origin. Whereas if you see beam is breaking here, right? So if 4 goes here, the 4 remaining will come over here. Okay, so like this you can do it. If you have missed that step, all you have to do is go for tools, click on this one, the dimension of beams, and you will be able to see. If you want to remove the dimension, click on remove and click on remove here, it will go. On tools, if you go, you can even see display node to node distance. Okay, it will display the node to node distance like this. All right, tools, I mean, click on remove node to node distance. Okay, it is that simple. You can use those two things and you can work with it. All right, so much is done. So I hope you have understood so far. This is basically how you approach to draw a beam. Okay, we will be taking some example problems and we'll be verifying our results and everything. Okay, after that we will do the rest of the things. Okay, so in this class only so much. I just wanted to show you how the this system works and how you can do your beam part. Now one more thing. Now before we go, I had shown you this, right? So for example, say I had a beam point here somewhere randomly like this. Okay, how do I work with this? How do I get this particular be a node point? Okay, so if you see in this direction, I have to give a value. Okay, so what I'm going to do to get this node point, what I'll do is I can just come here. Okay, see, this is my basically 4, right? So what I'll do, I'll give 4 here again, and here what I'll do, I'll just increase the value. Say I'll give again, say 4. Okay, so then what happens, I'm getting some value like this. For example, let me go for 3D now, isometric view. Wait, I didn't, I sorry, I have changed the value in y direction. Sorry, I have to do in z, 4. Okay, so you can see, right, we are getting some value. It is looking similar to what I had done here. Okay, isometric view, you can see the difference now. All right, so if you want to draw a beam, all you have to do is just hit this and just go and join it like this. It will take the beam. Okay, same thing goes for y also. If I want to draw something in the upper direction, for example, when we do our building, it is like we cannot draw a building with just two beams, right? The beams will come here also, the beams will go up also. Okay, so that time what you can do is you can just come here. Okay, I have given 4 here, so let me again give 4 and let me give one more 4 over here. Okay, not 44, just 4. Okay, enter. All right, so you can see we are getting values in the upper coordinate. So if I do 0 and if I do 4 here again, hit enter. Okay, you can see one more point has come over there. Okay, I'll hit 8 and I'll hit 4. So basically what I'm doing, I'm giving values in both x and y coordinates. That's why I'm getting values like this. Basically I'm getting value in the upper parts. Okay, the same thing I can do for z also. Let me just draw a beam so it makes more sense as to where we are exactly. See, again, this also is an issue. Students are like, sir, I cannot select it. Okay, how do I select it? So for that, you have to click on beam cursor first, and then you have to click on this, and then you have to click on this. Okay, and if for some reason you're not able to select node point, if for example you want to delete a node point, for example I want to delete this, but I'm not able to select and delete this, then what I want to do is just change the cursor. Okay, we have got many cursors here. I want to select the node cursor. If you select the node cursor, you will be able to select it. It will highlight you where the particular node is, and if you want to delete it, you can definitely delete it up. Okay, if I want to select this and delete this, I can delete this. Okay, so it is that simple. Let me just go for the node beam join portion, and let me just join the beams like this. Okay, so now if I look in the front view, it looks something like this. I have got values in my y, I have got values in my x, but inside I have got nothing. Okay, I'll go for 3D now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some more values in z direction. So what I'm going to do, I'll go 0, and this is my z direction, right? Let me add 4 here. Okay, I'll add 4, all right, and again I'll add 4 here, all right. I'll add 8, and I'll add 4 here. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come in again, just go and click on this beam, join them like this. Okay, all right. So it looks something like this. All right, I'm just doing this so that I can explain to you how you can do your beams and nodes and everything in all the three coordinate systems. Sorry, in all the three axes. Okay, this is very important because by using this method only we are going to do all our beams and all our columns. There are simpler methods we can import and everything. We will talk about in the future class, but for now you need to know how to do this. Okay, for doing truss and everything, this is the method we use. Steel truss and everything. Directly we input the values, and there is something called as rotational repeat and everything. This one basically, this one translation repeat. We have got rotational repeat. So we can use this and make our work easier, but we'll discuss all those topics in the future class. Okay, so for now the main agenda of this class was to explain to you what is x, y and z axis and how you can work with this tabular column to create any design that you want. Okay, so in the next class what we're going to do is, next class I'm going to basically show you, where did it go? Okay, basically this thing, we have to verify our results. Okay, whatever we're getting in Staad Pro, we cannot just blindly accept it, right? So we have to verify our results. We'll be doing the verification of the results in the next class, after which I'll take some beam problem, one or two problems of beam, one or two problems of portal frame, so that we have a basic understanding of how the software works on the whole. Then we go towards the building. Okay, so that's the plan for now. So see you guys in the next class. Okay, just a second. So see you guys in the next class. Thank you.